Hello all. Welcome to Tech Adventure. I hope you are enjoying your learning journey in software development, embedded systems, and skills development. Today, we will continue our journey through the Q&A series on C programming interview questions. These questions are frequently asked in real interviews and are essential for anyone looking to excel in a C programming interview. If you missed our previous videos, I strongly recommend watching them first, as this session serves as a continuation of the Q&A discussed earlier. The video is designed for all experience levels. As it progresses, you'll encounter new and challenging questions. If you enjoy my videos, please like, subscribe, and share with friends and anyone seeking this information. Without further delay, let's dive into today's Q&A session. 21. What is the purpose of the main function in C? The main function is the entry point of a C program. It serves as the starting point where the program begins execution. Every C program must have a main function. Without it, the program will not compile or execute. It acts as a bridge between the program and the operating system. The main function can return an integer to indicate the program's execution status to the OS. 0 typically indicates successful execution, and non-zero values indicate errors or specific statuses. It coordinates the flow of the program by calling other functions as needed. Only one main function is allowed in a C program. 22. What is a macro in C? What are its advantages and disadvantages? A macro is a preprocessor directive that defines a name or symbol to represent a block of code, a constant, or an expression. Macros are processed before compilation during the pre-processing stage, and they are replaced by their defined values or code whenever they are encountered in the source code. Macros are created using the hashtag defined directive. Since macros are processed by the preprocessor, they are not type-checked like variables or functions. Macros have a global scope and are valid throughout the file unless undefined using hashtag undef. There are two types of macros. 1. Object-like macros, used to define constants or simple code replacements. 2. Function-like macros, mimics functions but is replaced inline, avoiding function call overhead. See the examples here. Be careful when using macros and avoid common pitfalls. See how macro give wrong results if not used carefully. And we cannot catch this error easily, as macros are processed by the preprocessor. Pause your videos and see here major advantages and disadvantages of macros. 23. What is typecasting in C, and where is it used? Typecasting in C is the process of converting a variable from one data type to another. This can be done either implicitly by the compiler or explicitly by the programmer using casting operators. Typecasting is useful in various scenarios where you need to ensure that operations are performed on compatible data types, or when you want to take advantage of specific data type properties. There are two types of typecasting. 1. Implicit typecasting, or automatic type conversion. The compiler automatically converts one data type to another. This usually happens when you perform operations between different data types. See example. 2. Explicit typecasting, or manual type conversion. The programmer explicitly converts one data type to another using the cast operator. See example. When working with mixed data types, explicit casting ensures compatibility. To silence compiler warnings when converting between incompatible types. Used when dealing with low-level programming or hardware-specific requirements, example. Converting between pointer types. Allows interpreting the same memory as different types, example. Casting integers to characters for bit-level manipulation. Key considerations while doing typecasting. Casting can lead to truncation or overflow if the target type cannot accommodate the source value. Casting pointers can be dangerous and should be done cautiously to prevent undefined behavior. Overusing typecasting can reduce code readability and introduce bugs. 24. What is typedef in C, and where is it used? Typedef in C is a keyword used to create an alias or alternative name for an existing data type. It improves code readability and simplifies the use of complex data types. However, typedef does not create a new type. It merely provides a new name for an existing type. See the syntax. There are several uses of typedef in C. 1. Simplify complex declarations. It can make complex pointer or function pointer declarations more readable. 2. Improve code readability. By using meaningful names for types, typedef makes code easier to understand. 3. Custom data structures. Often used to rename structures, unions, or enums for easier usage. 4. Function pointer aliases. Simplifies declarations and usage of function pointers. See the examples. Typedef only renames a type. It does not create a new type. It is commonly used in headers to improve portability and maintainability. 25. What is the difference between ++i and I++? The difference between ++i and I++ lies in the timing of the increment operation relative to the use of the variable. Both are increment operators, but they behave differently. ++i refer as prefix increment. Increments the value of I before it is used in an expression. I++ refer as postfix increment. Uses the current value of I in an expression, then increments I. Please pause the video and look the differences between them. 26. What happens if you access an out-of-bounds index in an array? Accessing an out-of-bounds index in an array in C leads to undefined behavior, which means the program's behavior becomes unpredictable. The C language does not perform bounds checking for arrays, leaving the responsibility to the programmer to ensure proper access. Here's what might happen. 1. Access garbage values. You may access a memory location that contains garbage data, leading to unexpected results. 2. Program crash or segmentation fault. If you access a memory location outside the program's allocated space, it may lead to a segmentation fault. 3. Corruption of memory. Writing to an out-of-bounds index can overwrite critical data, potentially corrupting variables or causing erratic program behavior. Arrays in C are simply a contiguous block of memory. The compiler does not perform runtime checks to verify that you are accessing valid indices. When you access an out-of-bounds index, you are essentially working with memory that is not part of the array. 27. What are multidimensional arrays? How do you declare and use them? A multidimensional array in C is an array of arrays, allowing you to store data in a grid-like structure. These arrays are particularly useful for representing data in tabular or matrix forms, such as rows and columns in a 2D array or more complex structures in higher dimensions. Common types of multidimensional arrays. 1. Two-dimensional arrays, 2D arrays, represents data as rows and columns, example, a matrix or a table. 2. Three-dimensional arrays, 3D arrays, represents data as a collection of 2D arrays, example, a cube. Multidimensional arrays used for representing grids of numbers or data. For graph representation, image processing, representing pixel data for images. 28. What is the purpose of the break and continue statements in loops? The break and continue statements are used to control the flow of loops in C. They provide more flexibility by altering the loop's execution based on specific conditions. 1. Break statement. The break statement is used to terminate the loop prematurely when a specific condition is met. After the break is executed, the program exits the current loop and continues execution with the statement immediately following the loop. It's generally used inside for, while, or do-while loops and inside switch statements. 2. Continue statement. The continue statement is used to skip the remaining code in the current iteration and move directly to the next iteration of the loop. It's used inside for, while, or do-while loops. See the key differences between break and continue. 29. What are header files and why are they used? Header files in C are files with the .h extension that contain declarations of functions, macros, constants, and sometimes data types or variables. They provide a way to share common declarations across multiple source files in a program. Header files serve several important purposes. 1. Code reusability. Common functions, macros, and constants can be written once in a header file and reused across multiple source files, reducing duplication. 2. Separation of declarations and definitions. Header files typically contain declarations, example, function prototypes, while the corresponding definitions are in the source files. Example, a function is declared in a header file and defined in a.c file. 3. Modularity. They help organize code into manageable parts by separating interface, declarations and headers, from implementation, definitions and source files. 4. Ease of maintenance. Updating a declaration in the header file ensures consistency across all files that include it. While creating custom header files, use include guards, #ifindef, #define, #ndif, to prevent the same header file from being included multiple times. Avoid including function definitions or global variable definitions in header files to prevent multiple definition errors. Include only the necessary headers to reduce compilation overhead. Create separate header files for each logical module in your program for better organization and modularity. 30. Explain the difference bitwise operators and logical operators. Bitwise and logical operators are both used for specific types of operations in C, but they serve different purposes and behave differently. Here's a detailed comparison. 1. Bitwise operators operate at the bit level to manipulate the individual bits of integer operands. 2. Logical operators, used for logical or Boolean operations, evaluating conditions in control statements like if, while, or for. By understanding the distinctions, you can decide when to use bitwise operators for bit-level operations and logical operators for condition evaluation. And that wraps up today's Q&A session part 3 on C programming. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content on programming. Also, feel free to share this video with anyone who might find it useful. In the next video, we'll explore more advanced topics Q&A like pointers, multi-threading, and structures. So don't miss it. Until next time.